situation and the Coast Guard in the water, you don't see the Baltimore City Marine Unit because people probably forgot that Mayor Brandon Scott defunded that Marine unit and it wasn't important at that time. And so I just want people to look at the history of all candidates and then make the best decision.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for clicking in. You're like, what do you mean clicking in? Listen, wait a minute. Here we go. That's what it's all about. Or maybe you thumbed in with your phone. The lefties. Like, I need to learn this voice thing where I talk like they do, like in these commercials, or like when they're like on news channels. They're like, yes, I was just about the whole thing with diversity. At the end of the, how do they do what? Where? And it's the females that do this. They're like, if I want to be hot, I've got to make sure that every word sounds like this. I don't what is that? When did that become a thing? I remember in the 80s there was the Valley Girl. See, I remember the 80s. It was like they were like, oh my gosh, and it was a thing. And everybody picked on it, like, and even like in the shows with Married with Children, the Valley Girls would come in there, and everybody would laugh. But now it's a thing. You go on MSNBS and they're all like, yes, I just want to know about why you think that they did something with 2020 elections. Anyways, so my wife has brought me an article this weekend that I want to cover. And we're going to do it first because it means a lot. Because it's telling us where we're at when it comes to the destruction of society. And I'm not going to even name what that is, but I know one thing's for sure. It's all about inclusivity, which actually excludes me. All right. So President Trump is swarmed by supporters at a fast food restaurants and bodegas where he spends a long time talking to them and reporters, as this happened last Tuesday evening in Harlem. Now, what we have now is the stark contrast where Biden regime has sued a Sheetz convenience stores for discrimination one day after Old Joe's embarrassing botched photo op at the Sheetz gas station. So apparently, when you see the Biden regime coming to hang out at your business, buddy, yeah, it's like your probation officer coming in just to say hello. You're like, oh no, yeah, I know you can do like weekly visits, but dude, what do you next you know you're I just want to take a look around and see what's going on in here. Oh, and so anyways, Biden regime comes over to try to mimic what Trump has done. Nobody goes and sees this guy. Matter of fact, he's actually given the snub, and everybody laughs at him, and he forgets where he's going and steps in a pile of Sheetz cheese. And then to retaliate against the gas station, they send in two operatives that had terrible backgrounds. That, any business has a background check. I don't care if it's your roofing company. They're going to say, hey, let me see. Let's just take a look at this guy before we put him on a roof. He might actually, I don't want him stealing my shingles. I don't want him running off with my work truck. So they do this thing called a background check to make sure that you're going to be somewhat of a stable employee and not cost the company tons of money because of your bad decisions and what you may do in the future. It's called a background check, guys. They do this thing all the time. And these people didn't pass their background checks. And I know people who do hiring. You don't know what these people look like. You don't have a picture of these people. All you have is an application. And that application has your name and social security number on it so that they can go by that social security number so they can actually say, all right, this guy did some bad stuff. Can't hire this dude. And then what happened was, because of their criminal background, they weren't hired. It just so happens they fell under a certain demographic. And they have now run a class action lawsuit because it shows where non-white employees are not hired as much as white employees. But when it all is looked into, it's because of the backgrounds that are checked. And they say, dude, you got a terrible background. So somehow or another, that's racism. Somehow or another, that's that. And now the Sheetz organization or business conglomeration is under a lot of scrutiny because of such. And it's all about being real inclusive, which I said it's designed to exclude everybody except for certain people, which then to me seems sort of capital R word, which I already said already, so whatever. But that's the Biden regime. So he came in there to visit. Things didn't go very well. They all kind of laughed at him. It got lost. Now he takes it out on them by having a big class action lawsuit to annihilate this business. This is communist tactics at its best. Yeah, Xi Jinping, if you don't kiss his boots when he walks in, or get rid of all the homeless people before he comes and checks out his state, California. There's hell to pay, guys. And so that's happening with the sheets. And speaking of inclusivity and equality and all those fun words that make life so great for people who haven't really earned their position, other than the fact that they just completely flop around the floor and go, victim, victim, victim. I was a victim of well, how hard you work? Well, I didn't want to work hard. I just wanted this stuff, and I just deserve it. All of a sudden, kind of like Megan Rapinoe said, I deserve this trophy. I don't know if you saw that video where she holds it up and goes, I deserve this. I deserve this. Why? You suck at soccer. You got beat by a bunch of high school kids. There was a thing where they scrimmaged with high school kids, and their team got beat by a bunch of high school soccer players. Badly too, by the way. So, but she deserves this because she's had to endure such repression with her $5 billion contracts with the Subway, and all the money she made from that. Nobody watched soccer. Anyhow, football, if you will. But Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott says too much money goes to white-run arts groups. So instead, he's giving $3.6 million in city-directed fund to non-whites. Only arts groups. Non-whites, only arts. So in other words, we're just going to all of a sudden divert things, And so let's see. Here we'll read it. But of course, the computer takes a crap while I'm doing this. But we're gonna roll through it. Mayor Brandon Scott, announced last week that these Blanco ran businesses, for our Espanol viewers, were far too long getting public dollars. So he's going to divert COVID funds. To me, that's more money laundering, but whatever. Because I don't understand how you can even do that. Doesn't make it. How do you take money that's set aside? What happens if there is a pandemic again and we need that money? What are you going to do? He's going to fund these non-white businesses is what's going on here. But far too long, public dollars simply have just gone to the big names and big players in town. Mayor Scott said, and dare I say, I know my staff is going to hate this. The big names and the big players in town just happen to be white commie devils. I added that. But anyways, by the way, not only is the Baltimore mayor clearly giving away funds in an illegal way, discriminating against all other races, and now he gives out taxpayer money, but he is also wrong about there being white art museums and all that. Is his own city, including 4 art museums he sits on the board for. It's not like, in other words, Scott is awarding the Diversity and Arts Grants Fund by federal COVID-19 relief dollars. It's illegal to do that. And but he's giving this money to a bunch of wax museums and stuff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with promoting art and everything, but if you could just openly say, this is what we're going to do, we're going to do this instead of that. Nobody asked for this except for him and maybe a few people who just said, you know what, let's just piss everybody off. Let's do this. And most of the people that do all the art, it's a diverse group of people. There really is. It's not just one person, but the city is going broke. And here is the Baltimore Museum art director, Asma Naeem. And so the mayor's comments about Baltimore's art museum being white-run as it relates to the Walters Art Museum are even more out of touch with reality. Though oddly, Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott sits as a trustee on the Walters Art Museum Leadership Board as well. The chair of the board of the Guy Flynn, and he's black. So this is, I don't understand this. So all this time, these people are the ones that's been running everything, which looks like a pretty diverse group of people. Somehow or another, he steps in and says, you know what, you're not doing it good enough. You're not, I'm gonna do this instead, whether you like it or not. And gosh forbid you actually label what's going on here with what you see. Somebody who is not intelligent enough, who is not qualified enough, who has not enough experience in life to be running anything, doing this. It's almost like it's a joke to the American people. The would-be people who run things behind the scenes, that pull all the levers, like the Open Society Foundation fools who love to just destabilize everything that's right. Say, let's just do this and watch how the little ants run around and laugh at them. And while they're shining us with a magnifying glass, trying to burn us, they just sit back and drink martinis and laugh about it while they plunge other kids in the butt with their Skull and Bones Society and whatnot. But, and I got one other thing I want to talk about before I get out of here. A homeless man has built, now this is what I'm talking about here. This sounds pretty bad, but then again, hey, what if this dude is, we could learn a lot from this guy. Homeless man builds a house complete with electricity on the side of Los Angeles highway. He has now gathered enough stuff throughout his endeavors of walking around and gathering up different little pieces of tin and a tarp and all this fun stuff. He's made one heck of a pretty cool shack. I think there's glitter on the floor. And you see a big car on the side of the road or a big sign on the side of the road that says 15 minutes to the Love Shack. Anyway, a tiny house complete with a front door sits on the side of 110 freeway near Highland Park. The house is one of several makeshift homes along the strip of highway. He has lights, a gas stove. He got a gas stove. Refrigerator for the food, and it's in good condition. A man named Caesar, who also lives in the makeshift community where the tiny house is located. The Highland Park, they got a security. He got ADT. he got Spectrum, Wi-Fi, satellite, internet, and let's see this video. But there's no sound because this is CCT. But there's a portion of it. Get to the full screen and all. It's kind of neat. I like his. He's got a great looking yard. He's got a rock garden. That's very ecologically sound because it doesn't require much water to keep going. But easy access to businesses because he can just walk right to the store. He's got look at how he's got his clothes drying out here. That's cool. And a ladder to get down where he's got to go. And I mean, so if they let you do it, have at it, you know. But Caesar said he's lived along the strip for 4 years because nobody bothers him there. And but the thing is electricity's coming off of like where the lights. He's wired into the light system for like the highways. And they don't say anything to him, but it's okay. So that's where we're at though. And so, all right. Well, and by the way, I want to go back to this picture because I want to show you something right quick. I like buildings. I want to just dig in this for one more second. Make this big. So you could like call somebody out to work on your house. You need a door put on, and you can't get anybody to even put a door on right. I want to show you something that just trips me out. I just thought about this. Look at how he's got the windows in. They look level. He's got them trimmed out. He's even busted loose on some really nice, looks like vinyl siding. I mean, dude, give that guy a job. I'd hire him. I'd hire him to come work for me and work on cars. He built one heck of a nice shack. Anyways, guys, so I just wanted to really talk about all this stuff, really, but they're doing my man Trump wrong, and they're doing all the district attorneys who are hired by Open Society foundations that are funded by the Soros entities, who the son is now banging older chick that used to work for Anthony Weina. Let that sink in. Like I said in my other video, that was what Elon Musk's joke was. I talked about this before, but in case you're new to this channel and you listened to this video and you made it through this whole thing, Elon's joke was, I bought Twitter, let that sink in, and that's why I came in with a sink. But we're facing peril times when it comes to, like this guy right here. I think he'd be a great person to hire on your build crew. He could do some crazy stuff. But a lot of these other people don't have the like airplanes falling out of the sky, trains coming off the tracks. The infrastructure in cities failing miserably because of the people they hire just aren't qualified for the job, and all they want to do is launder money and be the boss man and never actually work to get there. And you're watching the Biden regime go after companies who don't adhere to his, don't kiss his boots, and all the people laughed at him. So thank you for tuning in. Have a good day. I'm out.